Here children, this is grade 5 block 21 and S2. Topic is water exerts buoyant force, another property. Yesterday you have learned about flowing water has force, isn't it? So today you are going to learn about water exerts buoyant force. Right. So here open page number 130 and you read out this paragraph and this paragraph also you read out. Right. So in this one what it says is, see, why do nails and stones sink in water when much larger thermocol piece is able to float in water? See, here you can see some things are sinking in water and some things are floating on water. So why this is happening like this? Here you can see some things are floating and some things are sinking in the water. So here it says nails, if you put nails in the water it will sink. If you put stones in the water it will sink. But whereas thermocol will not sink in the water. Why does this happens? So here floating and sinking depend on a force called the buoyant force, right? So when we put an object in water, the earth pulls it down. So here the thing that is dropped in water pushes the water away to make space for itself, right? So this water exerts a force pushing it back up. The buoyant force, right? So here the more water that is pushed away by the object, the more buoyant force it exerts pushing the object back up, right children? So if the buoyant force is more than the force pulling the object down, then the object floats, right? So otherwise it sinks. Okay, so here the more the area or volume of the object that is put in the water, the more water is pushed out of the way and the more buoyant force is exerted, right? So this helps object with larger area or volume float, right? So here the foil sank in water as its area or volume was less and it displaced less amount of water. So here the buoyant force was less than the earth pulls, right children? So here now I'll ask you one question. How does this relate to a sinking nail and floating ship? How is going to relate about this sinking nail and floating ship? Here ships have a larger volume, right? They push out much more water which exerts a large buoyant force and forces the ship up, so it floats. In case of an iron nail, the water displaced is less, so the buoyant force is less and it sinks, right children? So again you read out the lesson. Okay, now we will go with workbook, right? Page number 26. In this 26, just you mark the buoyant force, your arrow mark you have to put. This is sinking and this is floating. What is buoyant force? You learned from glossary and mark this one, right? Now question number 2. What exerts a lifting force on things that are put in it? Explain the role of force in floating of objects, sinking of objects. So here floating of objects, if the buoyant force is more than the force or equal to the force with which the object is pulled down, then it floats, right? Now sinking of objects, if the buoyant force is less than the force with which the object is pulled down, then it sinks, right? Now we will go with question number 3. Why does a big ship made of iron float on water but a coin sinks? Yes. So here the answer says the big iron ship displaces a lot of water. This water exerts a large buoyant force on the ship. making it float on water. The coin is small. It displaces very little water. The buoyant force exerted by this water is less than the force with which the coin is pulled down, so it sinks. Right, children? Now we will go with question answers. Right? Now we will see what question answers do you have in the reader. Page number 134. Right? See 134. What does it say? Question number 2. What is buoyant force? Right? Question number 2. Second one. So here water exerts an upward force and anything that it puts into it, this upward force is called buoyant force and it helps things to float. That answer you have to write. Now question number 3. How are floating and sinking, third one, sinking of a thing related to buoyant force? Now open your reader, or in reader only it is there, page number 130. Here the answer goes here. If the buoyant force is more than the force exerted by the object in the downward direction, then it floats. If the buoyant force is less than the force exerted by the object, it sinks. That answer you have to write. So, 2 answers, second and third, you have to complete in the class workbook and draw this diagram, children. This diagram you have to draw and mark the sinking and floating, right? Thank you.